Before any steel touched the water, this narrow passage was ruled by fog, wind, and powerful ocean currents. People crossed in slow ferries, waiting for calm weather, watching the tides decide their journey. Some mornings began with clear skies, only to be swallowed by thick fog within minutes. On such days, boats moved slowly, guided by sound and instinct. A short distance across the water could feel like a long journey into uncertainty. For years, engineers studied this place. They observed the changing tides, recorded wind patterns, and tested the ground beneath the surface. Still, the idea refused to fade. As the city grew, the need for connection became stronger than the fear of failure. Discussions moved from quiet offices into public debate. Some called the plan reckless. Others saw it as the only path toward the future. In the early 1920s, detailed surveys were carried out. Engineers sailed across the strait again and again, measuring distances, studying currents, and mapping the unseen world below the waves. Designs changed many times. Every version attempted to balance ambition with safety, imagination with reality. By the early 1930s, after years of financial struggle and technical argument, the final plan was approved. In 1933, work began at the edges of the water. Land was cleared. Access roads were built to bring heavy equipment closer to the shore. Temporary platforms were placed into the sea, creating fragile working spaces above moving water. The first foundations were carved deep into solid rock, hidden beneath the surface where no one could see the effort taking place. In 1934, the towers began to rise. Steel sections arrived by ship and were lifted slowly into position. Each piece had to be placed with precision, guided by hand signals through strong winds and shifting fog. From the shoreline, the towers seemed to grow from the water itself, changing the horizon week by week. By 1935, attention turned to the cables that would carry the weight of the entire structure. Thin steel wires were drawn across the open space again and again, slowly forming two enormous cables. Workers balanced high above the waves, secured by simple safety lines, with nothing but open air around them. Below, the water moved without pause, reminding everyone how small a human figure can appear against nature. In 1936, the roadway began to take shape. Steel framework stretched from tower to tower, turning empty air into a solid path. Sections were connected, riveted, and tested, bit by bit. A road across the strait appeared where only water had existed for centuries. Painting crews followed, covering the steel to protect it from salt air and constant moisture. Lighting systems were installed, preparing the crossing for night travel. By 1937, the structure stood complete, calm, and confident against the sky. What had once been controlled by tides and weather was now guided by human design. The waiting lines at ferry docks slowly faded. Movement became predictable. A journey that once depended on luck now followed a fixed path. The change reached far beyond simple travel. Neighborhoods expanded as distance lost its power to divide. New homes appeared in places that once felt too far away. Businesses discovered new customers across the water. The rhythm of daily life adjusted to a world where crossing the strait was no longer an event, but a routine. The bridge also reshaped the image of the city itself. It became a symbol seen in photographs, postcards, and films. Travelers recognized the skyline not just by buildings, but by the long line of steel rising through fog. Over time, the structure entered the collective memory of the world as a sign of bold thinking and modern ambition. Years passed, and the bridge learned to live with the forces around it. Storms tested its strength, winds pushed against its cables. The ground beneath shifted with the slow movement of the earth. With each challenge came careful inspection, reinforcement, and renewal. The bridge was not frozen in the moment it was finished. It continued to evolve, shaped by time and use. Traffic grew heavier. Vehicles changed. The pace of life accelerated, yet the original design continued to carry the weight of modern movement, proving the lasting power of the vision that first imagined this crossing. Beneath the roadway, the water still moves as it always has. Fog still rolls in without warning. The wind still whispers through cables and steel. Nature remains unchanged in its rhythm. What changed was the human relationship with this place. Today,